Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical evidence and scientific evidence. So whoever it is not having this mindset, please do not continue on to watch this video. So in the past few days, due to the squat in the S21, the sets, I have received many messages from our friends who practicing the S21, and it really stir up many things. And actually, I'm really glad that many people really look into the squat really seriously and found out many things. Now, we need to know that for the Chinese martial arts or Chinese Kung Fu, you always have the externally train the bone, muscle, and sinews, the internally train the breathing. And with this training, one be able to strengthen one's body and also be able to do self-defense, which is a gentle way of saying fighting. Now, that is the bottom line of traditional Kung Fu. And the squat in the S21, many people put attention to practice it, and many people have told me that it turns out that it is much more difficult than they think. And also, they found out about themselves, about their legs, and so forth. Well, the reason why that squat is in the sections of S21, that is the idea. The idea for one to find out one's entire body. Now, we need to be aware of our problem. We need to be aware of it before we can improve it. If we are not aware of it, we can improve it. That's why the section 1 of the S21, anybody try it will found out many things. And there is no correct or wrong or who is the best. Those are not the idea. The idea is to find out oneself so that one be able to work on it and improve it. Now, in the squad, many people or many friends have told me that they found out their legs is really rigid. Well, I like to share with you something which is really critical. These days, many people love to talk about internal, talk about secret, authentic teaching. So if we get to the really bottom of the internal, in the Chinese internal development, it always say that when one get old, one's legs is the part of the body which get degenerated. Okay, so when one grow old, the waist down is the part of the body one got degenerated. So the leg become rigid and tense, tight. For the Chinese, that is the deficiency of the kidney qi. So when one grow old, one have deficiency in kidney qi and the leg, which is the lower part, the lower part of the waist become rigid, tense, tight, have no good circulation or poor circulations. Now, the real internal development is to keep the entire body soft. The entire body need to be soft like a baby or alive, lively like a baby. So the entire body need to be trained, need to be developed so that one be able to get the entire body is soft, lively instead of rigid, degenerate. And so that's the reason why the squat is there to find out what happened and to develop it joint by joints from the leg up to the entire body. So soft is not dense like stuff. Like now you can see that people claim that this is internal, that internal. They are mimicking a soft dancing, but that is not soft. Soft means every joint, every part of the body is soft and lively. So as soon as one do squat, one know, does one brute force it or one be able to handle the entire lower part of the body really elegantly and softly with a really light handling. That is the real uh, internal kung fu. Now, that is just the first part of the kung fu. So, the reason why I'm sitting here today, okay, the reason why I'm sitting in the lotus posture like this today is that be it in the martial arts, horse stance, or in meditations, one need to have all this soft, soft like a baby, or else it never works. One never develop it. Only when this is soft, one be able to sit long, one be able to get into the breathing element. Without this, you can't. Okay? So if you sit in the meditations, the first thing you want to think to train is your legs, your spine, and your entire body. Okay? Has to be straight, erect. This has to be soft so that it is like melting down and you can sit really comfortably and you can breathe, and that's why you can get into the breathing, you can get into the chi part, right? So you need to have that before you practice the qigong or different stuff. You need that thing. You need to condition this. Without this, we don't have the basic. So that's the reason why I'm sitting here to show you that. It doesn't mean that I'm a grandmaster or anything. No. It's like a high school teacher. If he want to talk about physics, he need to know physics, even though the high school teacher not necessarily have a PhD in the physics, but need to show what it is. So meditations or internal training is never philosophy, mindset, and all those kind of stuff. It's physical. Unless the physical is developed, every joint is developed. One not be able to sit properly, one not be able to get the spine proper, the shoulder proper, the breathing proper, and one cannot sit long. Okay? So this is a reality. So the first thing is you need to have this lower part of the body handled. That's why the squat is put in the S21 purposely to get everybody's attention. And so we all can work on it and really develop something. Okay? Now, that is for seating, right? So how about this? You stand in hot stance. Same thing. The lower part of the body have to have those type of development, have those level of development. Otherwise, one not be able to deal with the breathing. So many of our friends message me asking me how should one breathe when one squat. Forget about it. Forget about the breathing. Manage or aware of the body. Learn really slowly how to squat, how every joint is be able to handle, and do it gradually. So keep uh, uh, tuning, fine tuning each balls, and get familiar with it. And if one aware of it, get familiar with it, then one be able to gradually make it alive again, which is soft. Okay, so even in squat, the leg is just a part, like the basic of the meditations in the lotus posture. What you want to handle from this hip to this shoulder is another part, but you need to have this part handled first. So what do I mean by handling this torso or between hip and the, the shoulder? Is that when I squat down, I cannot do this, which is bending, concave, convex. I cannot do this convex type of stuff or concave. I have to be natural, neutral, so I be able to have the breathing, the pivot floor and the diaphragm, be able to breathe properly, function properly. So you need to start from somewhere. You need to know the squat, the leg first, and then be able to sense, aware of this thing, and be able to handle. Only then one be able to practice or to get into the breathing. So, like in the ancient, in the Shaolin, is that easy to stand 3 months? Is that like the movie that you stand until you're shivering, cannot breathe? Of course, it is not. When people stand for that 3 months, the entire thing soften. That is to handle to nurture your kidney chi. Okay, it's not those brute force thing. Brute force all those muscle just to mimic something. It never is that. So If you want to talk about Kung Fu, we talk about real Kung Fu. Not this style, this lineage, that lineage, this grandmaster, or mind, philosophy. Forget about this. The ancient Chinese, this is real development. You have to put time in it. Okay? So, you need to know the sequence of the development, or else we are not going to develop anything at all. So if we want to practice Wing Chun, let's practice real Wing Chun, not something which is we imagine. Okay? So the ancient is like that. And if you look at the Queen Quid, if you have the book, the Wing Chun Inception, if you look at the Queen Quid, it say here, Y3, the trip out of left leg has positive and negative effect. The trip out of left leg, okay? The trip out of left leg have positive and negative. The bending power of the heel tightly stored in the reverse direction. So it means that one is aware on all these details, okay? And also, we talk about the synchronization or all those line, like the chi flow and all this kind of thing. This is not magic. This is we be able to handle the joints, be able to handle the breathing, the force flow, be able to handle the entire thing. It is real. It, doing this, like I put a palm strike, all this, how every joint I can handle, the breathing and so forth, is no different than when you do a squat, how you be able to handle every joints. So you need to be able to handle every joint of it. And of course, the beginning is you need to develop the lower part of the body. So the inch power of Wing Chun, ancient Wing Chun, is not Bruce Lee's inch punch demonstrations. It is be able to handle every joint of it. How do you have to synchronize your arm with your legs and entire body, the entire seven ball, your breathing, your channel, your force flow, your momentum. So that is what in the ancient called dim dim cheng in Cantonese. Every point is clear. Okay? So those are the Kung Fu. If you practice in Wing Chun, like you develop these 1850 Xiu Lim Tao sets. Okay? So it is all there. Okay, so in the Wing Chun Inceptions, I leave it that for you guys. Okay? So this is like a textbook. You know what happened. And of course, if I tell you this, I have to be able to do it as what I share with you. If I tell a meditation, I have to be able to sit in the lotus. If I don't have the experience, what the heck I'm talking about? And yet, that is just like a high school teacher. If you want to talk chemistry, we go to the lab. We want to make an experiment. We are not the expert. But in high school, we can go to the lab and show what it is. Okay, it has to be that way. It has to be professional. Now, so with this, you can see that it is not Xiu Lim Tao is not that mind power, spine power, lifting anus. It never is that. It is the externally trained the bone muscle sinews. Make it alive. Training, make it alive, not rigidly. Cause problem. Make it alive externally. Internally, you train your breathing, your chi, and so forth. But that is after externally you have the handling. Okay. So, however, we need to start somewhere. We need to be able to aware of our body before we can make it to function, even as simple as a squat. We need to aware of the entire thing before we can function, and we need to get all the help we can, even to do a squat, to slowly understand ourselves. Okay. Now, this is not like in the past 80, 70 years, people have to stand in this kind of stance. And then when you stand like that, people say, oh, it is a Charlie Chaplin walk. No, it is not. You know why? This is the Charlie Chaplin walk. Why? You look at Charlie Chaplin, the entire leg is like a rod. Okay? You look at baby, how baby walk. It is this way. Baby don't walk this way. Okay? Baby walk this way. That's human. Wing Chun is to become human. Wing Chun is not become a wooden dummy. Okay? So if you look at past 160 years or 120 years or whatever we can see outside in the public, you never see what I'm sharing with you today. You know that the technology is there because you look at the body, you know whether this have developed or not. So you need to know the reality of the technology and don't get things wrong. Like, well, Hendrik is saying this to take a jab at all the grandmasters, so forth, so forth. I'm not take a jab at anybody. It is very simple stuff. It's like this is Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, we have high tech, really at top high tech of the entire world. Okay? Now, if you have some country which is not Silicon Valley, say in somewhere in Asia, even though they don't have the technology, but there are many people who study technology, will be able to say that we don't have this technology in Asia. Silicon Valley have it. And there can be many different reasons due to in Silicon Valley, you have a good platform, you have many people, you have a lot of finance support to develop this technology. So Asia doesn't have it, Silicon Valley have it. But it doesn't mean that the people in Asia doesn't know that that technology exists in Silicon Valley, while Asia doesn't have it. Okay? So I'm in this standpoint because we know what it is today in the ancient. So we look around, we can screen it and we say, okay, past 120 years in public, you never see this kind of stuff. And you can scan people's body. It's like once those friends be able to do a squat properly, they be able to scan other people, whether other people have that or not. So one don't have to be the grandmaster of squat or the best Olympic athlete or whatever, but because they have the education, they be able to scan. This is problematic. This is real. This is good. So it is an education. It is a technology. So this is what I like to share with you. If you want to learn something, learn it properly. So everybody is benefit. So really, we can have improve our health because our leg, our lower part body is well uh, conditioned. We can improve it, and then only with that we be able to talk about you want to go fighting, shoot in, how much you have to use this? Your core, you all need this. So like your core, you need to be able to breathe and be able to handle this core. If you do like that, you cannot do it. If you do like that, you cannot do it. You cannot breathe. You cannot handle your intra-abdominal pressure. You have to have a neutral handling, not this type of handling, not this type of handling. You have to have a neutral handling to your body. Okay? So every bit counts. The minute you don't have a proper handling here, you cannot breathe. Your breath will not go deep. So you have to have a neutral body, so that your entire breathing is intact. So you'll be able to handle your the pressure. Okay. So no butt out and no concave this and that. No, it's neutral. And all this thing is sport science. Now, if one will not be able to handle this in a squat, how is one supposed to be able to handle this? So it is incorrect to ask people to stand in the rigid form, like it's dead from here down, tense up. Those type of stuff is only draining your kidney chi because it make you rigid, tense, tied up. When you're tied up, you don't have circulations. How good is that for your kidney chi? And yet, the real training, this entire body, the lower body down from the waist has to feel like it's melting. Okay? So the same thing is when you do it is like this part is like melting. So this is what I like to share with you today.